The gamer's secret quest. How free games get paid every year. Gamers spend over $110 billion on stuff that only exists inside video games. Skins, weapons, characters, things you cannot hold, touch, or take home. And here is the wild part. Most of those gamers are kids and teens just like the ones watching this. The games look free, but they are built to get you spending without you even realizing it. This video breaks down exactly how it works, the tricks, the traps, and the secret system running behind every free game on your phone, console, or PC. Stay until the end, because the last part reveals something most adults do not even know. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The game says it is free, but somebody is paying for it. And the system is designed to make sure that somebody is you. Why would anyone spend real money on something that only exists inside a game? Think about it this way. When you buy a movie ticket, you are paying for something you can only experience once and cannot take home. When your parents pay for a concert, there is nothing left to show for it when the night ends. Paying for experiences that are not physical objects is totally normal. Games are just really good at turning that into a habit. Here is where it gets sneaky. The first move almost every free game makes is turning your real money into fake money. Fortnite calls them V-Bucks. Roblox calls them Robux. Clash of Clans uses gems. The item you want costs 1,200 tokens, but you can only buy 1,000 at a time for $9.99, or 2,000 for $19.99. So you buy the 2,000. Now you have 800 left over doing nothing, pulling you toward the next purchase. It sounds small. It is designed to sound small. $10 feels way bigger than just 1,200 V-Bucks. That gap between real money and made-up tokens is not an accident. Casinos use the exact same trick with chips. When you are not looking at actual dollar bills, your brain does not react the same way. The game companies know this. They built it on purpose. The game is free, the currency is not, and the gap between those two things is where billions of dollars disappear. But fake money is just step one. The move that keeps players coming back is something way more powerful. What makes a digital item feel like you absolutely have to have it right now? There is a trick game designers use that psychologists have studied for decades. It works like this. Imagine two machines. One machine always gives you a candy bar when you press the button. The other machine sometimes gives candy, sometimes gives nothing, and once in a while gives something amazing. Which one do you keep pressing? The unpredictable one. Every time. That is just how human brains are wired. Loot boxes run on this exact trick. You pay a set amount, you get a random item. Maybe it is common. Maybe it is rare. Maybe it is the legendary skin you have wanted for 3 months. The not knowing is what keeps people buying. It is so similar to gambling that Belgium, the Netherlands, and South Korea made loot boxes illegal for kids. When games were forced to change, many switched to showing you the odds before you buy. The randomness stays. The pull stays with it. Then there is the timer. That rare skin in the Fortnite shop disappears in 24 hours. The battle pass expires at the end of the season. The game is not just selling you an item, it is selling you a countdown. Losing something feels about twice as bad as gaining something feels good. So a skin that is about to leave the shop hits harder than a skin that will always be there. The clock is not there to help you. It is there to pressure you. Put these together and you get a spending environment designed for one thing: making you act before you think. The game does not wait for you to want something. It creates the want, sets the clock, and waits for you to tap by. Here is where it gets really interesting, and a little surprising. Most players are not who the game is actually hunting. Who is actually paying for all these free games? This is the part that surprises most people. Out of every 100 players in a free-to-play game, about 98 spend almost nothing. The whole free experience, the servers, the updates, the new content, is not funded by those 98 players. It is funded by the other 1 or 2. The ones who spend hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars. The gaming industry calls these players whales. That name comes from casino culture. Now, being a whale is not just about being rich. Researchers who study this found a pattern that shows up again and again. It usually starts with one purchase that feels worth it. Then another. Then the thinking shifts. I have already put $50 into this game, I might as well keep going. That is called sunk cost thinking, and it is a trap almost everyone falls into at some point. The game tracks all of this. It sends special deals to high spenders. It times offers to land right when they are most likely to buy. That is not luck. That is a machine learning algorithm trained on your spending behavior. For everyone else, the 98 players spending little or nothing, the whales are basically paying for the free experience. The game works out great for most players financially. For a smaller number, it becomes a real problem. Studies have found that the same patterns that show up in gambling addiction also show up in heavy in-game spending. One of the warning signs researchers look for: hiding purchases from parents or family members. The free game is free for most players because it costs a lot for a few. The system is built to find those few and keep finding them. There are two more costs in the system that nobody talks about, and one of them hits younger players the hardest. What does all this actually cost beyond money? The first cost is to the games themselves. When a game makes most of its money selling items, the design team is under constant pressure to make players want those items. That means levels get harder right before a power-up would help. It means rare skins that used to be earnable through skill are now locked behind a purchase. The game stops being built around fun and starts being built around friction, making you uncomfortable enough to spend your way out of it. Every player feels that, whether they spend money or not, the second cost is the one that matters most for this channel. It lands on younger players. Here is a fact about the brain that is worth knowing. The part of your brain that pumps the brakes on impulsive decisions, the part that asks, wait, do I actually need this, is not fully developed until your mid-20s. A 12-year-old sitting in front of a limited time offer and a spinning loot box is facing a system specifically designed to outrun that brake. It is not a fair fight. That is why several governments around the world have put age restrictions on loot boxes, that is, why some parents set up spending limits on game accounts. Not because gaming is bad, gaming is great, but because the monetization systems layered on top of gaming were built by teams of experts whose job is to get people spending. Knowing that changes how you play, the game is not broken. The spending system on top of it was built to work exactly this way. And knowing that is the first line of defense. The real secret quest in every free-to-play game is not the one on screen. It runs in the background, in the loot box odds, the countdown timers, the fake currency, and the deals that show up right when you are most likely to crack. The mechanics feel like fun because they were designed to feel like fun. That is the whole point. Every player is in the game. Now you know which one. If this opened your eyes to how games really work, hit like and subscribe. There is a lot more coming about the systems behind the screens. Parents and kids, head over to DigiArmorX.ai to learn everything about staying safe and smart in the digital world. From in-game tricks like these to online security, AI, and a lot more. Share this video with a friend who has ever said it is just one more V-Buck.